I now recognize Mr. Burchett from Tennessee for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Briefly, Mr. March, can you explain what cloud seeding is?
Yes, I can. Happy to explain it. So cloud seeding is the attempt to enhance rainfall or snowpack on a very localized scale. And obviously
Localized meaning?
We're talking on like a couple kilometers, few kilometers scale. Okay. Yeah.
Are the materials used in cloud seeding safe?
There are some concerns with silver iodide and how that when it precipitates out into the soil. There's concerns that it negatively can affect marine life, aquatic life, terrestrial life because of the release of silver at high concentrations. As far as dry ice, the dry ice method of it, which those pellets sublimate into CO2, that's a harmless method.
Would you feel comfortable drinking a glass of water with several parts per million of silver iodide in it?
I probably would not want to do that, no.
Okay, that's a good answer. Are states seeing measurable successes in cloud seeding?
Not on a very large scale. We're talking not on a scale that's over 200 kilometers. But on a localized scale, there is some evidence that these statewide efforts, especially in the Intermountain West in Colorado, can increase like the snowpack or precipitation by up to 15%. But the range is 0 to about 20% based on the peer-reviewed studies that I have read. But there's not a 100% success rate with that. That being said, I don't think that we should be trying to do that.
Are you familiar with the process where they basically do it in a grid and then they follow it on the satellite to see where the rain had fallen to verify in fact that it was effective or not effective?
Yeah, I've seen that they do. There's obviously control areas and areas of experimentation, and the results are very inconclusive in the literature on that.
And basically the process is they put this stuff in the air, it gets in the clouds, moisture condenses on it, and it falls in the form of water droplets or snow, whether due to the temperature, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is it possible that there could be lawsuits in the future of people say they're being robbed of their rainfall? Say if the winds were in a westerly position and the clouds were to empty, say in one county that was east of this area, and then they thought that the rain should have come to them, and yet it was literally stolen from them by the cloud seeding prior to that?
I think there could be concerns for lawsuits of stuff like that for sure, and that's something that we probably almost saw, or we might see, from the Texas floods this year. Again, the results are going to be, and I think the court findings would find that there's really no evidence that it had any material effect, because most of the studies show little effect, but again, the results are inconclusive. But that doesn't stop there being lawsuits being filed.
Because you'd have the companies that were selling this process to have come back and say we're not effective.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that would be interesting to see. Mr. Pelkey, is the government engaging in any weather modification or geoengineering activities?
The federal government is not. State governments, the GAO reported there's 9 states in the U.S. that support. And I will say effectiveness is measured not just in rainfall, but also in marketing. I'm from Colorado, and the state lets it be known that for ski season, there's cloud seeding going on. So
have they been doing it in the past, though?
They've been doing it for several decades.
The federal government has been doing it.
The federal government peaked its weather modification investments in the 1970s. If it was in this year's budget, it would be the equivalent of $500 million. So it was a substantial effort, but it did peak and it has declined.
Okay, what was the end result of that?
Uncertainty, as you heard, that there's not a lot of good science out there to say cloud seeding has this effect in this region, and I question whether it would even be possible, because when you do an experiment, you have a control, and then you have the experiment, and you compare the two. We have one Earth, and so you can use models and so on, but it is very difficult, I think, for weather modification to reach that bar of certainty that would be required to understand cause and effect.
Okay, yeah, we keep investing in it. Could the weather modification activities of other countries have a harmful effect on Americans?
So this is one where I think it necessarily has to be international. It's we've heard in the 1960s, the U.S. government sought to employ weather modification techniques as a weapon of war. And it would be important for the community to get together, and whether it's like nuclear non-proliferation, to disclose and set the ground rules for that type of research, just like you might do for gain of function research on viruses.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Lady.
Thank you. I now recognize